Now to Germany, where the G20 finance ministers meeting has been going on in the city of Baden Baden. Our reporter Guy Henderson caught a few moments with South Africa's finance minister Pravin Gordhan to get his views on South Africa's economy.
I think I'm right in saying that at the moment the South African economy is the second slowest growing G20 member, with only Argentina behind it. Why is it not growing faster?
Well, Brazil's still coming out of a recession. Russia is coming out of a recession. So if you take last year's numbers, we're not that bad. But we need to do much better. Last year we slowed down as a result of drought. And the years before that, the shortage of electricity supply, which we've now sorted out as well. The fall in commodity prices impacted many of the countries that I've actually referred to, including ourselves, although it's not a major factor for us. But it would have had an impact on many African countries. And post the 2008-9 Great Recession, many of our manufactured exports started moving towards the African continent rather than Europe, so that we had a more diverse picture in terms of demand. And any slowdown on the African continent, which had gone down to 1.6 last year, would influence our manufacturing sector as well.
A lot of other G20 countries are now starting to pick up, whereas your outlook, for 2018, your budget deficit's expected to grow, your growth isn't going to pick up.
No, the budget deficit will increase because we've committed ourselves to fiscal consolidation over time. Our debt will be under greater control, although we don't, by European standards, we're still very modest. As well, and we certainly recognize that growth is a key factor, and inclusivity in growth is a key factor in the South African kind of context. But where you're right is that we could have better quality of spending. But what is good about South Africa is that these are well-known factors. They're not hidden under some table. Equally well-known is the fact that society more generally doesn't take kindly to these negative things that are developing. And thirdly, that many of our institutions work and work well. And we have one or other part of the institutional system that will force us to behave and do the right thing and make sure that ultimately, as a government, we serve all South Africans and not a minority.
The President told Parliament in January that 2017 would be the year of expropriation of land without compensation. Is that a discussion that you think concerns your G20 partners? Does that come up in discussions?
No, it's been also refuted subsequently, because the official ANC policy is that, and for the benefit of your viewers, the African National Congress is the ruling party at the moment, and their official policy is that there will be expropriation, but in terms of our constitution. And the Constitution prescribes that there should be either market value and a willing buyer, willing seller principle that must be applied, or a special price, if you like, that takes into account public interest as well, needs to be considered. And that constitutional framework is the framework within which any land distribution will take place. But perhaps what's equally important is, why is the land issue so crucial in South Africa? It's crucial because as long ago as 1913, legislation was passed where the minority population was given access to 87% of the land. So today we're talking about 10% or less of the population had access to 87% of the land. 80% of the people had access to 13% of the land. And so this is, if you're talking in terms of structural reforms, a major structural reform that needs to happen in South Africa, whilst respecting property rights.